How we going, everybody? Now, for those who watched me on my live feed this morning, this is a follow-up, part 2 to it. We were talking about lettuce and the price of produce just going through the roof in retail stores, mainly in the larger commercial stores, which they seem to be able to dictate how much you're going to pay for it on whatever comes up into their mind. Unfortunately, that's the way the world is, and we've got to work our way around it. And simplifying that for you and myself is get in your garden and grow it. Don't look at my garden, it's a mess, because you know what I've been doing, having parties and events and all that stuff. So we're going to clean this up. But my point here is this. Have a look at these spring onions. I don't know what you're paying for spring onions in the supermarkets. I don't know what they want to dictate to you, because the primary grower is not going to get all those profits. You know where they go? They actually go to the transport industry and the retail store owners. Now, not so much the independent ones, and look after those little independent green grocers, mate, because they go out of their way on their own to be able to go and get you the fresh produce picked from the local markets or Footscray market, wherever they go to, or whatever state you're in. Bring it to their store, display it on their own. So there's only, what, half a dozen people working most of those stores, if that most times. So look after those. But when you go to the big commercial stores who start to tell you to dictate how to eat, what to eat, when to eat, and obviously they want you to eat everything every time of the year, but when they start delegating how much you're going to pay for it on some theoretical basis, it doesn't stick well with me. When did they become the ones to tell you what to eat, how to eat, and how much you're going to pay for it when somebody else is growing it? And you know too well, and everybody who's watching this knows very well, that the primary producer is always the last man or girl or lady in the chain to get what they rightly deserve. Prices go up in produce, in milk and other, raw materials that we use or produce that we have, yet the actual grower, the farmer, doesn't see that as much. Maybe a small percentage of it. So now it's time to go back into your garden, or go to your farmer's market, go to your farm gates and farm markets and collect what you want directly from the grower. They may not be a big farm garden, maybe just a little hobby farm, but at the end of the day, they grow it so they can grow it and give it to you. Now, whether they grow organically or not, I can't tell you that, but you've got to search that yourself. One thing you'll know for sure is that when you grow it yourself, it's going to be fresh and clean. Now, this is a tomato straight from the garden, folks. This must be worth at least $8 because it's organic, right? At least $8, this one here. The lettuce head we spoke about earlier, the spring onions were about $5-6 a bunch, right? Red onions. We've got some garlic here. We're going to throw that in as well. Just crush it like that. I'm going to show you how Vasily makes his little salad at home, right? I put a little bit of garlic in there like that, take the sleeve off it, chuck it in, whole pieces. Now, this is where the topic is. Seedling tray, coral green. Look, I cut that back once. I actually did cut back in here and it's come up again, so we cut again. We've got a bunch here. Let me see if I can give you the equivalent of $5, huh? I reckon with the size of the icebergs that I've seen, because when I heard about this, I went to have a look at the size of the icebergs, and they're about that big, because by the time you clean them, that's all you're getting left. So what I've got here, say I live on my own, because a lot of people already message me, email me saying, I've got no garden, I can't grow this, what you do. I wish I could. What am I talking about? I'm talking about a tray this big. Is this big enough to put your backside on to sit down as a seat? Is it? Well, if it's big enough for that, it's big enough to grow some lettuce. That's as much space as you need. Here, all right? Have a look at this root system. Look at the worms in there. There's no holes in this tray at the bottom. That's a good secret. Good trade secret for those who want to know how to grow and avoid watering too often. Don't have any holes, but don't overwater. And you only know by picking it up. If it's nice and heavy, it's wet. If it's light, leave it alone. So I'm making a salad here, straight from the garden, bugs and all, because protein is good for you just as much as the fibre and all the enzymes that come out of the fresh produce. Right, let's put a little bit of red stuff in here too. What's this, red coral? Just cut it off by hand. The best way to actually treat your lettuce is to cut it by hand, to tear it. Don't cut it. Tear it and it holds its shape. There we are. Have a look at this. Look at this little salad here. This is fit for one person, right? We've got all this going on there. Now we drizzle a little bit of olive oil, like that, right? A little bit of rock salt, and we toss it. Where's my fork? I brought a fork. Folks, I reckon there's about $5, $10, $15 worth of food there. If you were to go to a restaurant, you'd be paying $20 for that. Just come out of the garden. I'm talking with you, telling you how I feel about the way the world's going with our produce, and you need to wake up to it and realize that you start growing your own, whether it's 1 lettuce or 10, doesn't matter. Grow something in your garden and start eating it fresh like this. I'm not going to put it in my mouth because you're waiting for me to do it. I'm going to do this after. What I'm going to show you is, for those who have no idea, there's so many YouTube videos out there that you could follow. Doesn't have to be me. There's so many inspirational gardeners, home gardeners, passionate gardeners, lovers of nature, who share their wealth and knowledge that they've learned through handing down, you know, from friends and family, generations on how to grow, that you can learn from. Whether you like watching my videos or somebody else's, it really doesn't matter. This is about your well-being, not mine, your well-being. All right, I'm going to show you something now in a second. Now, for those who don't know how much lettuce is at the moment, as I said earlier in the morning, this is for tomorrow's video you're watching, which is now, I did it yesterday, so I'm getting my timing right. This is cocoa pith. That's all I've got here at the moment. Where's my superfood? Now, I left this out in the rain, doesn't matter, it's a little bit gluggy. We'll just break it up like that, mix it through. Superfood doesn't come wet like that, but I left it out. And you know you can use it, just mix it in like that, all right? So I'm mixing the superfood. I haven't put the black grit in. You don't have to put the black grit in. If you do, it's even better, but you don't have to. I don't want you to feel pressure to think you have to constantly buy things to be able to grow. You can collect seeds from your garden. Once you bought a packet of seeds, let's say if you've never bought any before, once you bought a packet of seeds, you never have to buy that packet again. Now, a lettuce head was $5 I mentioned just before. Here, this is our little makeshift envelopes that we have for our seeds. This is what they all look like. Real simple, nothing fancy, straight to the point. You have got 1 lettuce head, $5 in the supermarket, a little packet of lettuce leaves. They got them at $3 or $4, and there's nothing in them, just as much as what I showed you. Still, let's call it $5. You get 400 seeds in here. Minimum 400 seeds, 4 varieties, 100 of each. Do your sums. There's $2,000 sitting in here, folks. This is worth $2,000. In 6 weeks, you can sell this and make $2,000. Open up your own little farmer's market gate there. This will last you a lifetime. Just put my my cocoa pith down. You can use seed raising mix if you like. What am I sowing here? Iceberg summer. Summer's out of the season. We'll go into the bistro plant and cos winter. That's what we have. Well, it'll grow summer iceberg because it's growing there. So you can use your seed sower. Have a look. So we do this. So look, be careful. You don't put too many in there. Yeah, we don't need to put them all. That's okay. We do that. Put the rest away. Let's do the cos winter as well. So we've got the corals and the leafies, and I love my cos. There we go. Look at that. There's probably 50 or 60 plants in here already now. Now, they don't have to stay on the surface like that. You can leave them, give them a good soak, and they should fall in, right? But what you can do is just get a small handful and just lightly drizzle it over the top like that. See that? And in 4 to 6 weeks, you will have little leafy green lettuce popping up. And you can call them microgreens if you like. Harvest them small because there's a lot more nutrient density, whatever they call that. And then when they're small, they're great for you in your little smoothies and all things like that. Or you let them grow bigger and you get a lot more, you know, volume out of the product like that, a little lettuce head that grows, and you just cut one. Otherwise, you're constantly harvesting. And the thing is, if it's not too hot over winter, they will constantly push up new foliage. So you can get 3 or 4 harvests through the winter period of the one plant. That's $20. And the seed cost you, well, this packet here, we got it for $5, delivered to your door. When they start dictating to you, the middleman, on how to eat, you start dictating back and saying, I've had enough. Sow your own, like that. Water in some Eco Butcher Liquid Gold or your favorite liquid fertilizer. Doesn't have to be ours. Just use something natural, organic. Superfood if you like, black grit, liquid gold. That's what we do with cocoa pith. Water it in, and then 4 to 6 weeks later, it'll start to look like this, and you can start harvesting every second day. 2,000 heads, that's 2,000 days. That's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 5 years worth of produce there. You never have to buy another lettuce again in your life. I know I'm beating it to death, It's because it just frustrates me when I see this happening, and it's going to only go up. Everything has gone up in price. It's almost planned that we've got to have these occurrences on the other side of the world so that we can justify our price increases. So there's no other justification. Prove to me. You should go up to them. That's what I'm going to do one day very soon. Go up and then say, show me the trail, the foot trail, the carbon footprint on how you can justify a lettuce head from a $2 lettuce head, you know, whatever it was back then, certainly not $5 or $9 a cauliflower head. Seriously? I know, but if that money went straight to the farmer, the primary producer, I say congratulations, you've done a grouse job, Mr. Transport man, Mr. Supermarket man or woman. But you haven't done that. And you're not going to be doing that, and you're lying to the public, and it frustrates everybody, and nobody's calling it out. Maybe they have, I haven't seen, but I'm calling it now, and it's where we're going from here on, folks. Start growing your own, get ready for it, because you're going to regret it if you don't. You'll be reliant on the third party, middleman person, and you'll be starving. And you won't have anything fresh like this. You can find this on our website, folks, not these plants. You can find this and the seeds if you like. Give it a go. After I heard about it, and I made a mention this morning, I told the online team to smash down the prices. You can get our 27-pack ultimate seed deal, which is 27 varieties of seeds for $20 delivered to your door. Nobody's doing that. And these are quality heirloom seeds, properly harvested, stored and everything. So you should get almost 100%, never 100%, but almost 100% germination. So you got your 4-pack lettuce, you got your 27-pack lettuce, whatever seed you want, start developing a seed bank, seed library, because you just don't know what's coming around the corner tomorrow. Check it all out at vasilisgarden.com and enjoy a beautiful salad. Oh mate. Just eating one is enough. It doesn't matter if you pay $2 at the supermarket, it still ain't gonna taste as good as this, because commercially it's different to homegrown. We know that. When you're desperate to get something, don't feel like you're getting ripped off at the same time. vasilisgarden.com for all the great products you need and delicious produce. Maresi.